What makes you quietly more captivating as you age? After 65, being attractive isn't about looking young, getting attention, or meeting some outdated idea of beauty. It's about something deeper, something more powerful, more magnetic, a kind of presence that doesn't shout for attention, but once it's felt, it's unforgettable. For years, we misunderstood what true attractiveness really means. It's not about what you wear, your hairstyle, or how many years you look younger. Real charm comes from the way you carry yourself, how you see life, and most of all, how you make the people around you feel. There are people who captivate you without ever trying. They don't speak loudly, they don't chase the spotlight, they don't try to prove themselves because they already know who they are, and that's exactly why people are drawn to them, often without even realizing it. This video is for those people, or for anyone who wants to become one of them. The truth is, these qualities have nothing to do with age, and everything to do with how you evolve inside. Whether you're 65, 75, or even 80, you can start nurturing these traits right now. And when you do, something beautiful happens. You become someone people respect without needing to say a word, someone they enjoy being around simply because of how you make them feel. If you've ever wondered how to keep your inner light strong as the years go by, how to draw people in, not with effort, but with quiet confidence and presence, this video will speak to you. And please stick around until the very end, because the last trait we'll share is something most people completely overlook. Yet it could be your most powerful gift of all. If you're someone who wants to feel more grounded, respected, and naturally magnetic, you're in the right place. But first, a quick reminder. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss what's next. And if you enjoy this video, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, feel free to type 0. Your feedback helps me keep improving and creating content that truly serves you. Now, let's get started. 1. Quiet confidence that speaks louder than words. There are some people who change the energy of a room without saying a single word. They don't speak loudly, they don't try to stand out, and yet everyone notices them. That's not ego, it's not a need to prove anything. It's the kind of quiet, grounded confidence that comes from deep within, calm, steady, powerful. True confidence isn't loud. It's not in what you wear or how much you talk. It's in knowing who you are and being completely at peace with that. People who carry themselves like this don't need external approval. They're in sync with their own inner voice. They don't try to prove their worth because they already know it. That kind of presence, it's magnetic. Take Jack, for example. He's 74, a retired business owner. He doesn't try to dominate the room when he walks in, but somehow people always glance his way. When he speaks, the room gets quiet. People listen. He dresses simply, but with intention. His words are few, but meaningful. His presence alone feels like a statement. So, what makes Jack so captivating? It's his energy, his steady inner clarity, that effortless kind of charisma that doesn't need to try. And here's the truth, that kind of presence doesn't come with age. It comes from knowing yourself and from building a relationship with who you really are. People like Jack don't need to talk too much, explain everything, or do anything over the top. Their clarity, just who they are, is what makes them memorable. Especially as they get older, they walk through life knowing what matters and what doesn't. They don't chase approval, they don't force anything, and because of that, even their silence speaks volumes. How to develop quiet confidence. 3 simple shifts. Own your strengths and accept your flaws. Confidence isn't about perfection. It's about being comfortable with who you are, flaws and all. Talk less, observe more. Truly confident people don't rush to fill every silence. They listen, they speak with intention, and that makes their words carry real weight. Watch how you carry yourself. How you enter a room, your posture, your eye contact, the way you walk, all of these things tell the world how you feel about yourself. People can sense if someone is at ease in their own skin, because confidence doesn't shout, it's quiet, grounded, and centered. And when you cultivate this kind of presence, you won't need to impress anyone. People will notice you anyway, naturally, effortlessly. 2. Saying less, meaning more. The silent power of words. There's something quietly magnetic about someone who doesn't feel the need to fill every silence. Someone who speaks with intention, listens with full attention, and knows exactly when not to speak. Truly captivating people understand this simple truth. What you don't say can be just as powerful as what you do. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to be an open book. Sometimes mystery speaks louder than words. In today's world, everyone's in a rush to be heard. But the ones who truly stand out, they don't rush to speak, they don't dominate the room or overshare. They simply listen, they make eye contact, and when they speak, their words land with quiet strength. That's why every sentence they say lingers long after the conversation ends. Take Susan, for example, a 77-year-old retired high school teacher. She doesn't gossip, she doesn't insert her opinion into every discussion. But when she speaks, people listen. Her voice isn't loud, but it's full of depth. She doesn't waste words. Her sentences feel thoughtful, wise, like they've been lived. Susan never forces people to hear her. She knows she's worth listening to, and that more than anything commands respect. People who are quietly captivating understand something important. You don't have to tell your whole story at once. Let people discover you slowly. Give them reasons to stay curious. That's what makes you unforgettable. How to cultivate quiet. Magnetism 1. Taught pause before you speak. Take a breath. Think it through. A small moment of silence can give your words so much more weight. 2. Listen more than you talk. Real listeners stand out. People are naturally drawn to those who truly hear them. 3. Don't reveal everything too quickly. You don't have to share your entire life in one conversation. Let your story unfold. A little mystery draws people in and keeps them intrigued. When used well, silence is magnetic. It creates curiosity. It pulls people closer. And even after the conversation ends, the impression you leave stays with them. If you've ever known someone who left a mark simply by being present, or if you feel that quiet power within yourself, type 2 in the comments. Your support helps me keep creating content that reaches others just like you. 4. The magnetic power of being fully present. The silent elegance of attention in today's world. People often reply before fully listening. One eye on their phone, one ear half tuned to a conversation. Mind's constantly racing ahead to what's next. That's why someone who's truly present, who gives you their full attention, feels like a rare gem. And those rare people, they shine quietly but unmistakably because their presence is whole. Truly captivating people don't just join a moment, they fully live in it. They don't rush into conversations. They don't pretend to listen while formulating a response. Their attention isn't scattered. They're not just physically there, they're emotionally, mentally, and energetically there too. And that kind of presence feels like a gift. Take Carol, for example. She's 68, a retired journalist. She talks to someone, she listens not just with her ears, but with her heart. She's not thinking about what's next. She's in the moment with you. And because of that, people feel safe with her. They open up. They want to share more. They feel seen. Carol doesn't try to impress, but her full attention alone makes people feel deeply valued. This isn't a talent, it's a choice. What makes presence so powerful? Because people can feel when you're really there. And in a world full of noise and distraction, attention is more valuable than money. Being present means listening without interrupting, holding eye contact instead of glancing around, focusing on what the other person is actually saying, not just waiting for your turn to speak. And when someone feels that from you, they feel important, they feel understood, and that kind of connection, it's unforgettable. How to cultivate this kind of presence zone? Remove distractions. Put your phone down, be mentally and emotionally in the moment. Your undivided attention is one of the rarest gifts you can offer. 2. Slow down. Don't rush through conversations, meals, or walks. Notice what's around you. Beauty lives in the details. 3. Look people in the eye and truly listen. Don't just hear, feel what they're saying. When someone senses that you really get them, they naturally feel closer to you. Being fully present isn't about doing more, it's about being more. And the people who embody this quality don't need to be loud. They simply are, and they stay with us long after the conversation ends. If this resonates with you, if you believe presence is one of the rarest and most attractive qualities a person can offer, drop a 4 in the comments. Your voice and support help me create more content that uplifts people just like you. The quiet strength of emotional composure. There's something deeply magnetic about a person who remains calm, no matter what's going on around them. And no, this isn't about being distant or detached. It's not coldness. It's not indifference. It's something else entirely, made of grounded presence. A deep self-awareness, a quiet steadiness that doesn't shake when things get messy. These are the kind of people who don't need to raise their voices to be felt. They walk into a room and without saying a word, the energy shifts. They carry calm, they bring stability, and that alone leaves a lasting impression. We live in a world that's constantly triggering us. People snap easily. They take offense quickly. They turn every disagreement into a drama. But the truly captivating ones, they stay rooted. They don't let every little thing knock them off balance. They don't fan the flames of conflict. They don't give their energy to chaos. Instead, they pause, they breathe, they think, and then they respond. Take Walter, for example. He's 76, a retired firefighter. He's seen it all: emergencies, high pressure, situations, difficult people, and yet Walter never loses his center. Someone's rude to him, he doesn't snap back. Plans fall through. He doesn't complain. He adapts. That's why people naturally gravitate toward him. He makes them feel safe. He doesn't need to take control. His presence is control. So how do you build this emotional presence? 1. Learn to pause. Before reacting, give yourself space. Take a breath. Look away for a moment. That tiny pause, it can change everything. 2, don't let the small stuff steal your peace. Before you give something your frustration, ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? 3, adopt this mindset. Nothing can shake me, not as a defense, but as a quiet truth. The more you believe it, the more others will sense it too, because a person who manages their emotions doesn't have to prove their strength. They are the strength. This kind of emotional steadiness doesn't just benefit you, it creates a ripple effect. It puts others at ease, it calms the room. And in a chaotic world, that is rare and unforgettable. If you're someone who chooses stillness over reaction, or if you're learning how to stay centered when things get loud, type 5 in the comments. Because the more we embody this silent power, the more we help others find it in themselves too. 6. The magnetic appeal of a life well lived. There's something quietly powerful about someone who's lived a full, meaningful life and doesn't need to prove it to anyone. They don't boast. They don't constantly tell stories, but when you're around them, you just feel it. This person has lived. Take Elizabeth, for example. She's 81 years old, a former illustrator. She rarely talks about her past unless someone asks, but when she does, her words paint pictures. Simple sentences hold decades of love, change, and loss. She's watched the world transform. She's loved deeply. She's grieved with grace, and she carries it all not with bitterness, but with beauty. She doesn't try to reclaim her youth. She doesn't compare herself to younger generations, because she knows her value isn't in who she was, but in who she is today, and that presence, it's captivating. A life that speaks without saying a word. The most magnetic people aren't the ones who try to hold on to the past. They're the ones who've embraced every season of life. Spring, storm, summer, silence. They've lived through it all, and they've made peace with it. They don't romanticize what was, but they carry the gifts of experience wherever they go. Their laugh lines tell stories. Their wrinkles hold wisdom. And when they say, yes, that happened, you want to lean in and listen. So how do you embody this quiet depth? 1, own your story. You don't need to impress anyone. Your life, just as it is, makes you compelling. 2, stay curious. The most captivating people are the ones who never stop learning. No matter their age, they still ask questions. They still wonder. 3, live with gratitude. People who are thankful for each season of life, not just the highlights, radiate a soft, warm grace that others can feel. Because here's the truth, age doesn't take away your beauty, it refines it. And the more you embrace who you are, the more naturally magnetic you become. You don't need to say much. You don't need to try hard. Your presence says it all. So if this speaks to you, if you believe that lived experience is one of the most quietly beautiful things about a person, comment 6 below. Your presence here helps build a community of strength, depth, and authentic connection. Here's the truth. Getting older doesn't make you less attractive. In fact, it refines you. The moment you fully embrace who you are, something inside you begins to glow. And that light, it speaks volumes. Even when you say nothing, that's what makes someone quietly but completely irresistible. If something in these words resonated with your heart, if you find yourself thinking, is we truly become more beautiful as we grow, then go ahead and comment 6 below, because your life experience, it doesn't just enrich you, it inspires everyone around you. Final thoughts. Real attraction lives in quiet moments. Before we wrap up this video, invite you to pause for just a moment and reflect on the 6 qualities we explored today. These traits have nothing to do with youth, appearance, or seeking attention. They're about how you carry yourself, how you make others feel, and how deeply you experience life. People who are quietly magnetic don't wait for approval. They don't need to prove themselves. They simply are. And that kind of presence, it's impossible to ignore. These qualities don't ask you to become someone else. They help you uncover the quiet brilliance that's already inside you, and it's that inner light that people are drawn to. Someone who speaks less but says more. Who communicates with their eyes, their presence, their calm. Who lives with grace, gives with intention, and protects their peace. That is where true beauty lives. So if even one of these 6 traits felt familiar, or if you thought, yes, I want to nurture that more in myself, then you're already on the right path, because real attraction isn't about trying harder. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you and showing up fully as who you already are. Now it's your turn. Take a moment to reflect. Which of these 6 traits resonated most with you? Which one do you already embody? Or which one do you feel called to grow? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear not just what you think, but what you've lived. Because your story doesn't just matter to you, it might be exactly what someone else in this community needs to hear today. What's one thing you learned today, and how do you plan to bring it into your life? We'd love for you to share it in the comments below. Reading your insights isn't just a joy, it reminds us that we're walking this journey together. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps us keep creating content that lifts you up and lights the way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to walk this path with us. And until next time, remember, sometimes the most powerful kind of beauty isn't in your voice, but in your silence.